Hey y'all, welcome back to our channel. It's Danielle Jones here. We are starting another week of the Every Bit Counts challenge. It has been a fun challenge trying to preserve something every Monday through Friday. We are just over halfway through. I believe it is day 19 today. So we're gonna start off this week with something that I know is controversial. But I take my family safety very serious, and I have done a lot of research about this and have been doing it this way since we started canning many years ago. So we are going to can beans today, but we dry can our beans, meaning we don't soak and cook the beans ahead of time. It is controversial. Some people say it's not a good practice. It's called rebel canning, and everyone's entitled to their opinion about it. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, can beans the other way. I'm gonna show you how we can beans and have never had a problem. The texture, in our opinion, is so much better. Canning beans the other way makes them more like, as my daughter puts it, bean mashed potatoes. So we're gonna go ahead and can some beans so that they're ready for some easy meals when we're making chili or soups or anything like that. To start, we're gonna put 1 cup of dried beans in each quart. And then we are going to fill these jars with boiling water, leaving 1 inch of headspace. What we're going to do is add a little bit of salt to each of these, and then we're going to remove any beans that are floating. I think there's only 1, and get all those air bubbles out. And we're going to clean the rims for a good seal. We do that with a little bit of vinegar. Put our lids on, our clean, these are new and clean lids. And then we just put on the bands. We just put on the bands fingertip tight. You don't want to screw them down too hard. And we're going to process these in the pressure canner at 10 pounds for 90 minutes. There are our 7 jars of beans ready to go in the pantry. It is day 20, y'all. We are gonna can up some beef stew. As you may or may not know, sometimes, in fact, a lot of days, we are sort of a free-for-all lunch kind of family. So while we'll make sure that the little people have lunch, pretty much everyone like 10 and older is responsible for grabbing a lunch. The ones that don't cook yet will just grab, like, you know, nuts, cheese, veggies, things to snack on. Other people might warm up a canned meal. So that's why we're gonna make some beef stew today. And that is 2 of our roasts cut up small from our beef cow that we butchered in December. We also have some potatoes, carrots, and onions that we're gonna put in these quart jars. So let's get started. So you want to really push these down because they're gonna condense even more once they're cooked. So getting as much in there as possible is the key. And we choose to raw pack ours. We just prefer it that way. I know some people do it with like leftover beef stew, and that's totally fine too. I'm gonna throw a little onion in there too. Trying to get as much in there, hearty goodness as we can. Now, we only ended up with 5, which actually works out because we had a couple of beans that didn't seal yesterday. If we got some bum lids or what. So I think that they process for the same amount of time, 90 minutes. So we can throw those back in and reprocess them today. Okay, and then we're gonna fill these with boiling water, leaving an inch of headspace. Actually, I'm gonna salt first. Salt, everybody likes salt. Salt, 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 salt. Okay, and then we'll get all the air bubbles out and we'll clean our rims and lids with some vinegar. And these process at 10 pounds in our altitude for 90 minutes.
There's the beef stew out of the canner. It looks so good with the meat, potatoes, carrots, onions in broth, just layered up. Can't wait to have those for a lunch one day.
It is day 21 and we are going to try something we've never done before. We are going to make tallow from our beef fat. So this is from our homegrown cow. We have actually have 2 of these. I'm just gonna do one today and see how much it makes because it only stays in the fridge for 2 to 3 months, I believe. So we're gonna do one of those today. It takes a while, mainly just sitting on the stove and stirring every 30 minutes. So let's see how it turns out. And there it is in the pot. Now I've read differing things about you should break it up into small cubes. You don't need to break it up into small cubes. I'm not sure what the difference is gonna be and I didn't feel like touching it more than I needed to. Could be quite honest. So I threw it in the way it is and we'll see how it turns out. So the first round is to strain it with a big mesh strainer into another pot. And then we're gonna strain it finer into a quart jar through a coffee filter. See how it works to get all those little bit of little impurities out. And there it is, our first attempt at beef tallow. We got a little more than a pint probably. And we'll put that in the fridge and it'll harden and we can use it for skincare products, cooking. I think 2 to 3 months it's good for in the fridge. I'm sure that we'll get better at it as we do it more, but we're pretty happy with our first attempt.
All right, y'all, it is day 22 of the Every Bit Counts challenge, and today we're just gonna do some seed saving. So this should be a really easy project for anyone with a garden, and you don't really need any kind of special equipment to do this. So I'm gonna show these we did when we got our melon. This is Orange Glow melon seeds. And I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna do this cucumber. So it'll be pretty much the same process, but these are done. So I'm gonna get them packed up in the seed package here. So if you want to really get these like brown paper seed packets, you can get them on Amazon. But otherwise, you really shouldn't need anything else in particular to go ahead and save some seeds. And if you have little brown packets or paper packets like this, you shouldn't need anything at all. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pack these in here. And then we have lettuce seeds we need to save. And then we're gonna do this cucumber. All right, so first I'm gonna show you guys how to do this cucumber, and these instructions will be the same for any kind of squash or melon. And then we're also gonna do these weird looking fruits that we've been growing in our garden. So first what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this open, and I just like to go lengthwise here with this. So you need an overripe cucumber or else the seeds won't be mature. So usually try and pick a really big yellow one, unless the variety is supposed to be yellow. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just scoop all these seeds out. And then I'm gonna remove the seeds out of this, the inside here. And I'm gonna put them in this little container, so pretty much any container that can hold the seeds and water. So we've already saved some cucumber seeds this year, but we like to save pretty much, if I collect one overripe fruit from every variety, that's gonna be enough. Because these things will produce tons and tons of seeds. And you don't need to get them all out. If you feel that you have enough at some point, you can go ahead and stop. I would definitely collect more than a few though, because there's no guarantees that all of these seeds are good. So you'll notice when you're getting your cucumber seeds out, or squash seeds, or melon seeds, that they're in this like gelatin type coating, and that's why we have to do this step before drying them out. I think that is enough cucumber seeds, at least from that variety. And next we're gonna do these weird little fruits. Now they smell and taste like a cucumber, so I'm gonna treat them the same way. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut them in half, and I'm gonna, as you can see, there's the seeds. Actually, you can just squeeze it and the seeds all start popping out. So I'm gonna have a different container for those. I wanna just save these though, because I wanna see what happens if I plant these seeds. Is it gonna be the same fruit, or is it gonna be something different? These also have that gelatin-like coating that the cucumber seeds have, watermelon seeds, squash seeds. Let's cut this other one open. You just want to make sure you get way more seeds than what you're expecting, because some of them may not be good, some of them may not grow. There's seeds popping out everywhere. There we go. You can see we have a lot of those little seeds from this weird mystery fruit, and they definitely need to go through that same process like the cucumber. You can see definitely a gelatin-like coating all over those. So what I just did now is I put some water in these jars, I gave it a stir, and we're gonna let it ferment in these waters for just a couple of days. So I'm doing this with both of them, and then once that's done, you're gonna want to stir it once a day. And then once that's done, you're gonna scoop off any seeds that are floating on the top and throw those away because they're bad. All the good seeds will stink to the bottom. If there happens to be mold or anything, or any pulp floating around the top, you go ahead and scoop that and throw it off too. Then you're gonna put them in a strainer, clean them, rinse them, try and rinse off any of that remaining pulp or coating that we talked about. And then you're gonna lay them out to dry like you would other seeds. And then once they're dry, you can store them. So it's pretty simple. And this is what, like I said, this is what you're gonna do for any kind of melons or squash or cucumbers. Next up is some lettuce seed savings. So these are Butter Crunch lettuce plants. I think I actually waited a little bit too long to get seeds, but there's still a bunch of these little white poofy things we can pull seeds from. So normally as a gardener, when you get bolting lettuce, you probably just go ahead and pull it out because it doesn't taste good anymore, right? Now normally it's the same thing I would do, but I normally leave a few plants for seed saving. So I'm gonna pull these little white things. I'll put my phone down to show you, and a little cluster of seeds will come out, and then I'm just gonna stick them in this packet because they're already dry. All right, so if I just take this little white thing and give it a little tug, you see all those seeds on the end there? We're just gonna go ahead and get those in that package. I'm just gonna go ahead and do that with the rest of them, or as many as I think I need. All right, I think I got enough seeds, so what I'm gonna do now is I'll just leave these down here, and if they decide they wanna volunteer, that would be great. So far this year, we've saved peppers, multiple varieties of cucumbers, lettuce, we've saved now watermelon, and now we have those weird little fruits that we're gonna save. So I started that process. So we still have a long way to go as far as saving seeds for this year, but let's also remember that a lot of stuff does grow by the root too. So garlic grows by the clove, and then we'll save sweet potatoes to grow slips for next year once we harvest all those. And so we're getting there with the seed saving process. We're not close to being done yet, but we're getting there. It's Friday, y'all. So today is just gonna be something super simple. We're just gonna make sourdough bread in the bread machine to freeze. So my plan is to do 2 loaves, because I'll link the recipe that I leave, but you have to do same day sourdough bread. It's gonna take a little while. So we started one early this morning, and as you can see, it's rising nicely. And then we'll start another one when this one's done, probably later this afternoon or tonight. All right, 1 loaf of bread is done. It's got a nice weird little hole in it from the bread machine mixers. So pretty much what you're gonna do is just wrap it in plastic wrap and then put it in a freezer bag, stick it right in the freezer. It's really that easy. So I'm gonna stay up and start another loaf, and then I'll let the bread machine run overnight. But that's pretty much it. I hope you all enjoyed week 4. I can't believe we only have 1 week left. This has been amazing and challenging all at the same time. So let us know what you preserved this week down in the comments below, and we'll see y'all next week.